All right, good evening, everyone. Call the meeting to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Before we get started, just want to mention that this meeting is being recorded. So for anyone wishing to view at a later date, so it is being recorded. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, our first item is public comment. Any persons wishing to make public comment during this meeting on any items not listed on the agenda may do so at this time. Come forward to the microphone. State your name and address. Public comment? For any item not on the agenda? There is going to be an update for it later on. Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on. Item number 4 is our announcement of executive session. Township Solicitor.
Prior to tonight's meeting, the board met in executive session commencing at 6:45 to discuss personnel matters. The topic was a legitimate subject under the Sunshine Act, subject to an executive session.
Okay, thank you.
Before we go to planning and zoning, can I just see what kids we have out here tonight? We have Girl Scouts, brownies. What do we have? Yeah. Oh, okay. No, okay. You're welcome.
Not that we're hungry or anything.
I know. Where's cookies? Okay, item number 5. This is our consent agenda. This is a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented for the following minutes of the February 10th, 2025 Board of Supervisor meeting and payment of bills for February 24th, 2025. Make a motion.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 7, authorization to bid concrete curb and handicap ramp replacement for the 2026 pavement project. I'm sorry. Oh, I did.
I was all ready.
Thank you. Item number 6, review of zoning hearing board applications. Mary McConnell.
So included in your packet is a summary of the application before the zoning hearing board for their March 5th meeting. It is a residential application for a proposed addition at 108 Hampton Circle. The board may remain neutral on the application and let the zoning hearing board render a decision based on the testimony presented, or the board may send the solicitor's office to oppose an application. This action would require a motion, second, and vote of the board.
Okay. Anybody have any concerns? I think it's something that could be handled at your meeting.
I agree.
Okay. Great. Now, item number 7, authorization to bid concrete curb and handicap ramp replacement for the 2026 pavement project. Gregory.
All right, thank you. Included in the 2025 capital investment plan is concrete curb and handicap ramp replacement for the 2026 paving project. Competitive bids will be solicited utilizing Penn Bid's website. in order to allow for the separation of concrete and paving. The paving originally scheduled for 2025 has been postponed. A total of $579,400 has been included in the 2025 capital investment plan for the replacement of concrete curbing and handicap ramps for the 2026 paving season. So it's recommended to the Board of Supervisors approve the authorization for the advertisement of the bid.
Any questions? Okay, I'm going to make a motion to authorize the advertisement of the bid for concrete curb and handicap ramp replacement for the 2026 paving project utilizing pen bid. Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Item number 8, request authorization to purchase replacement 2025 GMC pickup truck. Very brief.
Thank you. In 2025, the Public Works Department is scheduled to replace the 2017 Ford Explorer. Public Works Department is proposing to purchase one 2025 GMC Sierra 3500 four-wheel drive pickup truck with a snowplow from Star Buick GMC of Quakertown, as approved in the 2025 capital investment plan. The 2025 GMC crew cab pickup will replace the following vehicle. It's a 2017 Ford Explorer with 80,000 miles. Attached is a quote dated January 8th from Star Buick GMC in Quakertown, an authorized vendor under the CoStar's Cooperative Purchase Program, to provide the requested vehicle and snowplow at a total cost of $74,600. A total of $85,000 was included in the 2025 capital investment plan for the purchase of the truck and snowplow. So at this time, it would be our recommendation the Board of Supervisors approve awarding the contract for the reference purchase per the 2025 capital investment plan.
I just had a quick question, Greg.
Sure.
Is this going to be available in this calendar year? Or is
Yes.
this another one of these, we're going to have to wait 18 months?
It should be. They've had very quick turnaround times. I'm not sure exactly why they can and some of the other dealerships can't, but we expect to have it this year.
This year.
Yeah.
So not only did it come in under budget, we're actually going to have it this year.
That's our hope.
That's amazing.
It really is.
Nice. I didn't have any other questions.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to make a motion to award the contract for the purchase of one 2025 GMC Sierra 3500 HD four-wheel drive crew cab pickup truck and snowplow from Star Buick GMC Cadillac Quakertown, an authorized vendor under the CoStar's Cooperative Purchase Program at the total cost of $74,600 per their quote dated January 8th, 2025.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item number 9, consider bid authorization for the traffic signal modernization at North Wales Road and Harbob Lane. Agree?
Thank you again. Included in the 2025 capital investment plan, the traffic signal modernization at the intersection of North Wales Road and Harbob Lane. Gilmore Associates, a township engineer, prepared the signal specifications to meet the township requirements, and contractors' bids will be solicited using PennBid's website. A total of $710,000 has been included in the 2025 capital investment plan for the traffic signal modernization at the intersection of North Wales and Harbob. So it's recommended to the Board of Supervisors approve the authorization for the advertisement of the bid.
Questions? Okay, I'm going to make a motion to authorize the advertisement of the bid for the traffic signal modernization at the intersection of North Wales Road and Harbob Lane utilizing PennBid.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 10, Pennsylvania Office of the State Fire Commissioner Grant Awards. So our chief's not here. You're going to speak.
Chief Wigman is under the weather, so I told him I would handle this for him, and hopefully I will make him proud because I'm sure he's watching this from his from the comfort of his couch, hopefully. So the DFS, which is the Department of Fire Services, and FDMT, Fire Department of Montgomery Township, applied for the 2024-2025 PA Office of State Fire Commissioner grant in the fall of 2024. On February 10th, they were notified that both agencies were awarded the grant. The grant money will help purchase battery-operated Hearst rescue tools for the new Squad 18, which is expected to arrive in October. The total cost of the battery-operated rescue tools is $75,861. MES is the local distributor and an authorized CoStarz dealer. The grant will positively impact on the DFS and FDMT budgets with $16,322.02 each for each organization. The total amount of both grants is $32,644.04. The total cost of the new rescue tools, as we said, is $75,861. The grant, the OSFC grant for them will offset the purchase. The remainder of the money will come from the Fire Relief Organization. The Fire Relief Association, we annually get money from the Commonwealth and we pass it through to the Relief Association. And this is a permitted expense from that money. So tonight we're asking that the board approve the award of the grant as well as the purchase of the tools.
First of all, I'm just amazed every time I see grants coming. How do you guys know where all these grants are and find out about them? And it seems like we do just such a great job with, finding the money and getting it for the township. I think it's
Thank you.
wonderful.
A number of the grants are repetitive, so we know of them from prior years.
Coming in.
And after you do them a while, you recognize what reaches a level of where it's going to get some funding,
Mhm.
particularly the ones that are competitive, like for not so much fire, but the ones that for township wide, like for our parks, our infrastructure, like when we did the rapid beacon on Stump Road.
Mhm.
Also, it really pays to look at, especially for like the county and the state, what are they emphasizing in the round that you're applying for, and do you have a project that fits? Don't waste your time or their time if you don't have one. But if they're talking about walkability, well, hello, Montgomery Township has been focusing on that since the pandemic. So that's a perfect match. And, for the beacons on the rapid beacon on Stump Road, we applied for the state and we were awarded, but we didn't know we were going to get that. So we applied for the county and we were in a position to get the county money too. But then the county saw the state award notice and they were like, hey, maybe you want to pull your application back since you got fully funded, and we did. So somebody else was able to make use of that money.
Great. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to make a motion to approve the PA Office of State Fire Commissioner Grant Awards of $32,644.04 for the DFS and FDMT, and approve the purchase of the new rescue tools of $75,861 from MES and authorized CoStarz dealer.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Item number 11, Township Manager's Report, Callan McCreary.
Thank you. I want to just go over a few things for the board tonight. I wanted to remind you that the Community Recreation Center's gymnasium floor replacement project is scheduled to commence on March 3rd and will be completed or should be completed by March 31st, barring no unforeseen conditions. It has been posted at the rec center. The people who are using it regularly are aware of it, and we're going to have a pre-construction meeting because obviously certain days that they're working in the gym, we're not even going to want people to be up walking on the track, dust from the debris and things like that as they take up the old floor. The other thing I wanted you to know was that myself, the solicitor, and Mary Ann McConnell, our planning and zoning director, met with representatives of a behavioral health company to discuss the potential sale and change in use of the Joseph Ambler Inn, utilizing the buildings that are currently on the property. The property is located in the R2 zoning district, and if you have any questions, Mary Ann can explain to you what's permitted by right. They were just testing the waters to see how the township felt about it. And then if they decide to move forward, they would come into a public meeting to talk to the board informally before making any type of application. Mary Ann, do you want to offer anything else? I'm sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
As you know, the Joseph Ambler Inn has been operating, I think, since about 1983 at that location. It is zoned R2. So even the existing use is not permitted by right. Their relief was granted over the years through variances and the relocation of historic properties to that site to expand. So any change of use would require um, some relief or some form of text amendment in order to proceed. So currently in the R2 zoning district, permitted by right is a single-family detached dwelling, municipal park, and municipal recreation facilities, passenger shelter for local bus stops and public transportation. There are some uses allowed by special exception, which is educational and religious with a minimum of 5 acres, day camp with a minimum of 10 acres, golf course, athletic field, cemetery, and a group daycare home would be by special exception. So a family daycare home would be permitted by right within the single family dwelling within the R2 district.
And the property has been for sale, so we're not sharing anything that's not known. Additionally, I had asked the solicitor to look and see if there was any kind of deed restriction on the property that might have been put in place prior to any of us being in our current roles, because I didn't know if any property had been, part of it had been preserved, or, anything had been done with the buildings themselves.
And I'm still looking into that. I have to go to the Court of Deeds office to actually look into some more of the historical records. There hasn't been any indication based upon the more recent filings, nor has there been related to the sale documents that there's any restrictions on the historic covenants to preserve the buildings there. The proposal does propose to keep the buildings as is. So that was, I think, the first question everyone had before they even came to the table. So I will be following up if I find anything on that.
And then finally, on Friday, February 7th, myself and Mary Ann McConnell met virtually with a representative from Penn Medicine and their project engineer. It was virtual because I was traveling back from a conference, and the Penn Medicine representative was on vacation, but this was the only time that worked for all of us. The couple of things that we wanted to discuss had to do with pedestrian access that's been removed and the recommended pedestrian crossing being at Knapp Road. There was some discussion and concern about people possibly crossing at Gwynmont. As you know, we talked about this, when we were doing our various walkability projects. PennDOT does not permit mid-block crossings, even especially when there's a curve involved. So the recommended route would be that residents would go up to Knapp Road and cross over to the other side. So we talked to Chief Peoples about possibly taking one of the police or both the police trailers and putting them out there just to alert motorists that there is pedestrian activity. Also, Penn Medicine said that they would put some wayfinding signs at the end of Gwynmont on their property to show that the detour for pedestrians is up at Knapp Road, because that is the safer place to get across the other side. They also discussed with us, as you know, they're required to put a fence in the back when they start working on the project. They went to start working there, and they discovered a number of encroachments from neighboring properties on their property. So they went out there with a surveyor. Some of it's naturalized, so some people put plantings, gardens. There's some shrubs and trees. I believe at least one resident has a fence that's on their property. So they're going to give them time to move the fence before they start doing their work in the back. So if anybody would come in and say, why haven't they put the fence in yet? Because they're trying to be at least a good steward that way, and not just go through and take somebody's plantings out, and certainly not potentially damage someone's fence. There was another discussion about blasting during construction. Unbeknownst to Penn, the blasting contractor had reached out with letters to residents who had in the affected area that's identified by Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. Penn was not aware of it. We were not aware of it till we started getting calls about the letters. Penn apologized. They sort of pumped the brakes and told their contractor it has to go through them, because then they will make us aware, because we're usually the ones who field the phone calls. There was also a discussion about reduction in the garage parapet wall height. It was amended to be 6 feet during their presentation. They believe they can do a 4-foot wall with different lighting because of some of the technology that's changed. When they gave you a plan, it was not fully engineered yet. It was sort of a design. I don't know if you remember, they showed the angle and the lighting, and there was concerns about noise from the HVAC system. They're going to have geothermal for the building. I'm not sure as far as the parking garage, but that has to go to our engineers. They just wanted to know what process they would have to follow to have something reviewed. And no one internally on staff is certified to be able to look at something like that, either the lumens for the lights and how they're going to come down. They're still going to have the lights in the wall, just as they had told you originally, but they believe they can lower the height on the towers that are on the final floor of the parking garage because of the wall coming down as well. So it's with Gilmore and Associates to review, and then once we get a letter back, we would share it with the board, because the board obviously would have to approve any kind of major field change. Mary Ann, do you want to add anything there, since?
They are proposing to reduce it from 6 feet to 4 feet. In addition to that reduction, they're reducing the height of the light poles as well. And then they're also changing from double-headed to single poles. So I think the overall intent of less light coming out of the area will still be met, and that's what Gilmore is currently reviewing.
And also, I did tell them that what we would like to do, because of the magnitude of this project, this is the largest project, obviously, the township has seen in a while. Also, because it's going to be probably a 2-year project, we want to set up a dedicated page on the website solely to Penn Medicine, so that we can update it as close to real time as possible, so that not just the residents in Gwynmont Farms, but in the township as a whole, understand what's going on and why it's going on. And we'll put photos on there and timelines as Penn provides them to us.
Want to come up to address anything, or maybe your questions were answered with her input?
Richard Fosco, 109 Glenmont Drive in Glenmont Farms. The blasting question I have, I know that that's still waiting for, I guess, a contractor or something to do notifications. Do I understand correctly that the only 250 feet from the blasting area, residents are supposed to be notified and offered a pre-inspection?
That's my understanding through PADEP. Yes, that's what they require.
And so, as a courtesy, if you're 350 feet away, you're not going to get it. Is there a way to go beyond what the minimum is?
I'm sure requests can always be made. I can't speak to what Penn Medicine will do, because we have no regulation authority over blasting in the township. Even the quarry that we have falls under the Department of Environmental Protection. Their office is in Pottsville, and they're the ones who regulate all blasting in the Commonwealth.
Okay. The other question is about this parapet lowering, and I understand from what you said that they're talking about lowering the poles that the lights will be on also. I would argue that more is better than just minimum or less. So if it's that much of a hardship to keep the parapet at 6 feet, no matter what other changes they make, it'll just offer extra protection from light spillover or noise or view lines to whatever on the roof of their buildings for our neighbors, especially the ones that are on Trotter and the ones that are on the north side of Gwynmont Drive. So I understand that they want, I don't know the expense of 2 extra feet of wall are, but I think they got the money. So I think that as just a good neighbor, they would want to do more rather than just the minimum. What's the minimum we can do? Why don't we do a little more and make sure?
We can certainly relay that on to our engineer when he's looking at the plan. My understanding was they were also concerned about, they understand there's an issue with safety. The residents want to feel that, that it's illuminated sufficiently so that it's safe, but at the same time, there's also, anything we can do to avoid light bleeding out or too much lighting is always something that we've looked at on any projects in the township, but we can certainly relay the comments on to our engineers and to Penn Medicine.
Okay. At an earlier meeting, there was a suggestion, I think, from the residents about, or a question anyway, about the berm, because the berm only reaches down as far as the dead end on Gwynmont Drive. It doesn't extend to the south side, and there is a residence home that's the property line. It's on the south side of where the dead end is, and there's no berm there. Our question was, well, can't they just build up a berm on that side too to offer the same protection for that resident as they have for the residents that are on the north side of the end of the street? And I never got a response, but it seems to me that there's no berm going there. Am I correct?
I don't recall from the plan. I know there was a discussion. I know there was comments about the topography of the site, but I don't believe that a berm was completed on that end in the plan. I would have to look.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hello.
Thank you for addressing the kids. My name's Trish Nye, resident at 111 Glenmont Drive. I had a few neighbors reach out to me, and I noticed as well that the closed sidewalk sign that Penn has put is partially obstructing our view as we're trying to make a safe left-hand turn. So I just want to put that on our record. And also, the neighbors directly across the street did receive the pre-blast survey notice. And when I had looked into the code, it did say that there was a 250-foot requirement, but a 500-foot optional that many companies use. They say that if you're within 500 feet, please reach out to us, that they're not going to give us that. So I just want to put that on record that, that happens. And then I appreciate that you're trying to increase communication. I also thought that your summary of your meeting was very comprehensive, which I appreciate, but the lack of communication that we've had thus far, it's a lot to explain to the kids. My kids and I had the flu. We didn't leave the house for 10 days between the end of January and the beginning of February. And when they finally left the house to go to school, all the trees were gone. And they were very upset. So now every time they see a dead deer on the road, they say, see, it's because they destroyed their homes. I know there's lots of things, but, more communication so that we could explain to the kids what's happening, because it's quite literally in their backyard and in their front yard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Allison Hemmons. I live at 105 Clayton Court in Glenmont Farms, and more concerned with just the communication. I know you mentioned the February 7th meeting. Is there a way that we're able to be a part of those virtual meetings, to be able to listen or understand? And then just the website, because I do think it's important for us to understand what's going on in the neighborhood. I live on the back end, but still, it's impacting us and we just don't really understand what's going on. So really would like to understand when that website, I know you mentioned it would be getting put up. And then I think that was it. But are those meetings, the virtual meeting that was on February 7th, are we allowed to be able to listen?
They're not public meetings. They're just staff meetings.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Matthew Nye. I'm 111 Glenmont Drive. My question is regarding the exit coming out on Sadiq Pike and no light being put at the corner. Is that an issue that is like a done deal with Penn? Is that something you can bring back up? Because like they said, other than the obstruction now that's there daily, it seems awfully close to where those cars are going to be coming out. And I don't know if any of you have ever driven down there, but come over to Glenmont Drive and try to pull out there when there's not traffic, and then try to pull out there when there's traffic, and then add 4,000 cars on top of it a day. And then these are the kids that are coming out of that development. Okay. So look past me and look at them. They're school buses. They're playing. They're the ones that are leaving this development. And at some point, someone is going to get hurt leaving that development. I leave there at 5 a.m. I leave there at 5 p.m. And I leave there in the middle of the day. And no offense, I haven't seen anybody pulled over on that road in probably 8 months. Okay. So no one does 40 miles an hour, and it's dangerous leaving that development. So that light down there, is there any way that that's going to come up again as an issue with Penn Medicine?
No, because that's a PennDOT determination. They said a signal's not warranted there.
So is there any way to have them push that entrance back or get rid of it?
No, the plan has been approved already and recorded.
Well,
So
we're your constituents.
understood.
Right? So again, this is who's in danger. Just remember that when someone gets killed leaving that development. Okay, just remember that. All right, come by there any time of day and try to pull out there and see how difficult it is. All right. So when something happens, because it will, because people don't drive any slower nowadays, they drive faster. All right. And 4,000 more cars on top of it, something's going to happen. And when it does, we'll be back here to talk about it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Anything else, Carolyn, on this? Are we good?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Is there any other traffic option? Speed hump, some other kind of caution blinking light, anything? Because that exit where it is now, slip exit, is below the crest of the hill. So the traffic coming out of there, anybody looking left, they can only turn right, I'm assuming, when they come out of there, which is going north. Anybody coming out of there, when they're looking left, the crest of the hill is higher than the exit. So a little bit of a view obstruction there. And it's now so close, I think is what Matt was trying to get at, so close to Gwenmont Drive that the traffic that does come out of there, if they step on the gas, it's a blind curve. And if they step on the gas coming out of there, come around that blind curve, they're going to broadside somebody making the left out of our neighborhood. It's going to happen. So if there's other traffic mitigation, other speed mitigation that could be put in that area, I think that the conversation that you should have with PennDOT before somebody does get hurt.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on to item number 12, any new business, department reports? Anyone?
Committee report?
Mhm.
So the Parks and Rec Board meeting was canceled. We didn't have a quorum, and then there was also some wintry weather that was being addressed, especially by our public works crew. So it made it difficult for them to participate as well. So that meeting was canceled. The sewer authority did meet and discuss some basin maintenance, which was fascinating discussion. They are having a rate workshop. However, they're looking at the future forecast, and so the sewer authority is having a workshop, and it's been advertised to discuss a potential rate increase. So that is forthcoming, and if anybody would like to attend, please visit the website for more information on the date that is coming up. I want to say March 7th, 6 p.m., but don't quote me on that.
Are you done?
I am done.
Okay, great. The Environmental Advisory Committee did not meet last month because of quorum issues. We have another meeting tomorrow night, so we'll hopefully catch up on things. Our Business Development Partnership met this past week, and we are currently in developing a plan to reach out to all new businesses and have welcome packets, kind of like the welcome wagon of yesteryear, if you will, but welcoming new businesses into our area and making sure they have adequate information about who to contact for whatever things for police, fire, public works, zoning, etc. They probably already have zoning's number. But it will be hopefully a welcoming part of our to our community, as well as some stickers to put on their doors talking about how they're proud to be part of Montgomery Township. So hopefully this will be a way of keeping our businesses in touch with each other and with us, and hopefully make it a friendlier place for them to want to stay and grow their businesses. So good stuff there.
Right. Anything?
Planning Commission really just talked about cell phone text amendment, I guess allowing cell phone towers, not really towers, Marianne.
Amendments to the cell
Amendments.
tower ordinance were proposed to update to meet new federal and state regulations, and then allow them on properties owned by a municipal entity over a certain acreage and size.
And everyone was for it.
And my only update, my senior committee, we have our full calendar. Deb, keep me honest. I think we have one slot to fill on our whole, every month have some free seminar that we're going to be throwing for everyone. So our whole calendar was put together, agreed upon, and we're looking forward to it.
There was one last thing though. There was an update on the Rose Twig bathroom. Very exciting. Yes, they've made great progress already in putting the foundation in and running all the conduit to connect with electrical. So they seem to be making great progress. I think the timetable is maybe slightly pushed back slightly, but we're still looking at opening in the spring, right around the time when baseball and softball is going to be back in swing. Unintended. Unintended.
Get it.
Mhm.
But anyway, it was exciting to see the progress that's been made.
Excellent.
And just one final thing with the committees, with the EAC meeting tomorrow night, we'll have met with each committee to review the wall that heals and the volunteer opportunities. So that'll be something that we'll be able to check off our list.
That's the last one. The
Yeah, the
EAC.
EAC is the last one.
Great. That's right. I failed to mention you did come to our meeting, which the seniors loved. I think that is it, unless anybody else has anything. I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you.